So, if you guys don't remember, about 2 years ago, I made a video about Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn. In it, I said there was a chance that the game might turn out good, and at the end, I said that I would review the game if it came out on a platform that I owned. Well, it came out on the Switch, so looks like I have no choice. Let's start with the story. Shaq is a poor Chinese orphan who's taught martial arts by an old man named Ye who's implied to have a crush on him. And there's also an ancient demon named Yen Lo Wang who's disguised a bunch of other demons as celebrities in order to make the world dumber, and Shaq has to take them out. Yeah, this game is completely ridiculous. At no point does it try to take itself seriously, and that's the best part of the game. The cutscenes are friggin' hilarious, the dialogue's funny, and you got the Shakopedia, which is full of bios for all the enemies and various items that you come across throughout the game, and it's hilarious. Among other things, it states that Shaq is a professional ping pong player. The celebrities in this game are also clearly based off of real life celebrities. Some of them are more obvious than others, like it's clear that Babyface is Justin Bieber and Diamond is Paris Hilton, but then there's ones like Arthur O'Deal and Benedict Fender who I'm not sure who they're supposed to be. Not to mention there's other ridiculous things in the game, like how Shaq turns into a giant cactus as a power-up, or the fact that both the products that he endorses, Icy Hot and Gold Bond, play a decent role in the game. But beyond the story and humor, how's the presentation? Well, the cutscenes look nice. They're definitely not top of the line, but for what they are, they look pretty good. And the in-game graphics, they're alright. Nothing to write home about, but nothing super ugly that's unacceptable in this day and age. The music for this game is pretty standard, with the exception of Shaq's rapping. Yeah, that's right, Shaq recorded a song for this game, and it plays during the title screen and the loading screens, as well as an extended version that details the full events of the game that plays in the credits. And you're going to be hearing this song quite a lot, as it loops on the title screen, and the loading screens in this game aren't exactly short. And I could see someone genuinely getting annoyed by this, but for me, I just thought the song was too catchy to get mad at. Now onto the gameplay. This game's a beat 'em up, and the controls are pretty simple. You have one button for your standard attack, and when you've built up enough of a combo, you can press another button to use Shaq's size 22s to take out more enemies, and when you have enough energy, you'll have an earthquake attack to deal with enemies ganging up on you. Some enemies die easy from just a couple hits, and others require a bit more thinking. Okay, not much more. I mean, slightly more than just hitting them constantly, like there'll be a button prompt to do something else. Yeah, the combat in this game is pretty mindless, but I personally found it fun, and I think they had just enough variety in order to make it interesting. There are some segments where enemies will be going up a hill, and you have to push down a boulder to take them out, or use construction equipment to kill them, and of course there's the power-ups, Shaq Diesel and Shaqness. The bosses were also pretty fun, requiring you to change up the way you play a little bit. Again, nothing super complicated, but a nice change of pace. I've heard people complain that the segments of combat go on too long, and I agree to an extent. There were definitely some segments that I felt went on a bit longer than they should have, but it was never anything too agonizing, at least in my opinion. Despite the fact that I didn't find that a problem, there were a few issues that I did have with the gameplay. My biggest issue with the gameplay is the jumping. What's wrong with it? Well, for starters, there's the fact that it uses the X button. I mean, really, the X button? That's an incredibly awkward button to be using. Half the time when I want to jump, I accidentally do a ground pound because I just instinctively press B. But believe it or not, that's not the only problem I have with jumping. You see, another big issue is the fact that you can't move vertically when jumping, only horizontally. And the depth's kind of a problem in this game to begin with. Oftentimes, I find it hard to determine where in the dimensional plane an enemy is. So there are plenty of times where I'll get hit by an attack I wasn't expecting, either because I didn't realize the enemy was within range to hit me, or because I tried to jump out of the way, but I hit the wrong button, because why the heck would you make jumping the X button? So now for the moment of truth. Going back to my prediction, what did I think of this game? Well, I liked it. Yeah, the combat's pretty mindless, but I found it fun. It had just enough variety to prevent it from getting too repetitive. And yeah, the game definitely has its flaws, but I think they're more than made up for with the game's sense of humor and overall charm. So yeah, at the very least, my prediction was partially right. I enjoyed this game, and that's enough for me.